Hey, what's up, everyone? Saul here with another SAT Solved Live. Today, I'll be going over the digital SAT official practice test number 3 on the Bluebook app. I've never seen this test before, but I have seen some of the questions here and there because I've taken the linear practice test PDFs. So this stream will be a little unusual because I've seen some of them before. But in my experience with the digital SAT, you read these things for such a short period of time that you kind of end up forgetting it immediately. Well, that caveat aside, I think you're in for a doozy because I'm gonna try to recover from my previous embarrassment on the digital practice test 2. Let's see if I can get a 54 out of 54 this time. Now, before we start, let me share some tips for watching this stream and studying for the digital SAT. These streams can get long, so you should consider using keyboard shortcuts to speed up the video, to skip between the chapters, etc. You can see the shortcuts in the description below. Just tap on that description button. I've also timestamped chapters for each section of the test based on my analysis of the digital SAT reading and writing. For each test, there are 2 modules, and for each module, there are 5 sections that I can see. Okay, I call them vocab, analysis, reasoning, grammar, and synthesis in that order. So you'll be able to see what part I'm in based on my sectioning. After viewing this stream, if you want to review the questions section by section, you should use my question database. I'm offering it for free for everybody. You can find it in the link below. It is a work in progress, so I'd appreciate any feedback you have about that. Finally, I want to welcome anyone who's studying for the digital SAT to our community on Discord. You can ask questions, get peer tutoring, and, as long as you're a good person, just have some fun. Now, everybody, I have some news. I got 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I'll keep pumping out digital SAT and other good stuff. Specifically, if you are working on college applications for the end of this year, I do want to publish some stuff if possible. And also, if you're reading things in school, I'd like to stream myself doing some readings and reactions to your school to your school assignments. So if you can share what's on your mind these days, I may actually pick it up and do a stream on it. All right, so that's it for the housekeeping. Let's get into the test itself. All right, I'm gonna turn on Do Not Disturb because I've been getting a bunch of notifications. So give me a sec. And I guess we can get right into it. Let's get started. Oops, I should lock my screen. All right. Let me lock my screen. All right, there we go. Let me show you reading the thing. Artist Marilyn Dingle's intricate coil baskets are made of she winds these sweet grass. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Number 2, believe that the genes that enable groundhogs and certain animals to hibernate may be present but not effective in any way. So, like dormant. Okay, sure. I was thinking of a different word, but I can't remember the word I was thinking of. Diego Velázquez was a leading artist, but his influence is hardly limited to Spain, around the world, confined to Spain. Okay. Although science fiction was dominated mostly by white male authors, when Octavia Butler, a black woman, began writing, she did not view the genre as white and male. She broke into the field as, closed off, impenetrable. Sure. Okay. Hang on, we're in the assumed, okay, we're still in vocab. We're in the vocab section. The following text is adapted from Drown's wooden image. Carving a wooden figure to decorate a ship The work assumed. It took on greater precision. Acquired. Yep, I just had to quickly double check. Now we're in the analysis section, starting at 6. I have seen this question before, but I'll walk you through my prediction here. Calamus 24, it's charged against me. I seek to destroy institutions, but I'm not for or against institutions. I don't have anything in common with the institutions. Only I will establish in Manhattan, in every city of these states, everywhere, and in fields and above, and without edifices or rules or trustees or argument, I will establish the institution of brotherly love. So the structure is I'm against. I reject these accusations, and this is my goal. Criticism and then goal. Yep. All right. Here we go. Utah is home to Pando. I think I've seen this one before too. Colony of 46,000 trees. Okay. Single root system. That sounds crazy. It's a single organism with 50,000 trees. But the growth is declining because of grazing. Sad. Strong fences. Okay, what are we looking for? We're worried about the grazing. Yep. Young. It isn't growing at the same rate. Let me just double check. Growth is declining. Yeah, growth is declining. All right. Number 7, here we go. Or is it 8? Number 8, here we go. Cats can judge unseen people's positions by the sounds of their voices and react with surprise when they call from 2 different locations. Voices, speakers, low level of surprise when they were played twice from the same speakers. High level surprise, but once each from 2 different speakers. Well, yeah. So that's a... How did they determine the level of surprise? By using 2 different speakers. Oh, ears and head? Is it ears and head? Measuring cat's level based on ears and head. Yep. Okay. We're still asking for main idea right now. So here we go. We're still in the analysis section. VSG is known for public TV and radio, but her book is the big deal. Her roots in the Low Country of South Carolina. It combined memoir and travel writing. So it was very personable. Okay, it's made it different. Okay, and it's challenged notions of conventions of food and culture. Okay, so she wrote, she's more famous for her book, which made a big deal. So, yeah, that's A. Man, this Zoom is so garbage. This Zoom really sucks. Grow Tropical, what's up? Yeah, I can shout out your name. Oh, wait, my camera angle is awkward. Let me just drop that a little bit. EK, what's up? EK, my literary man. O Pioneers, in the novel, she depicts Alexandra Bergson as a person who takes comfort in understanding the world around her. Now we're in the reasoning section, okay? Question 10, we're in the reasoning section. This is the hardest section. But takes comfort in the understanding the world. So we just need takes comfort in understanding the world. She looked as if she was trying to grasp the situation. Maybe A, just trying to gather her strength, but that feels too painful. I want to I want to get the taste comfort from understanding the world around her. Oh, she felt the future stirring. The country means to her. This is the comfort, and then this is all the chirping of the insects in the long grass. Her heart. Wait. The world around her is such a broad term here, but maybe the nature around her, that could work. I'm thinking of B right now. drove off alone, lost in the howling. That has no connection whatsoever. Let me use this little very limited tool here. Okay. She drew her shawl closer to her, stood leaning against the frame. Loved to watch them. It fortified her to reflect on the great operations of nature. Oh, what? That's like the most direct one. She loved to watch them in understanding the world around her. She takes comfort in understanding the world around her. It fortified her to, and when she thought of, yeah, that's the law that lay behind them. This is just how much the country meant to her. She felt the future. Yeah, this is not quite takes comfort. Okay, the only one that has takes comfort is this one. Wow, that took a while. That took a while. How long did that take me? Okay, I just finished that at 7:40, but that took me a long time. Okay. Several artworks found depict a female figure fishing with a cupid. Some scholars have asserted that the figure is goddess Venus. Fishing generally. Some scholars think it's connected to Venus, but others think it's just general with fishing. The fact that a cupid is therefore means that it's not necessarily Venus. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I wish I could circle. I wish I could annotate. This annotate is... I remember the annotation being so garbage. Yeah, it's so garbage. Okay. Anyway, the thing is I'm mentally annotating. I'm going to call out the words that I'm sort of like circling in my head. Joaquin, what's up? Joaquin, I thought you were a senior, right? Aren't you? Did you get your early decisions yet? In documents called judicial opinions, okay, judicial opinions, they explain the reasoning, and they sometimes cite philosophers, okay? While judges prefer to mention philosophers who align, the strongest opinions consider philosophers who conflict. Or so, yeah, could therefore lead to stronger opinions. Okay, stronger opinions. No, that's wrong. Improve the arguments, maybe. Comprehensibility, that's all off topic, so we're back to B. All right. Questbridge, good job. Congratulations. That must feel really good. The Shakespeare tragedies address broad themes. Romeo and Juliet, broad themes, tackles themes of parents versus children, love versus hate. But understanding the history plays, not the tragedies, but the histories, can require several knowledges. So histories are harder. Compared, yeah. Less widely read. Yeah, that's A, basically. Not relevant. Nah. Yeah. The House of Mirth. I'm like, I want to get 54 out of 54, so I'm kind of like nervous. It's like it's the longest time it's been a while since I've been nervous. In her analysis of Edith Wharton's The House of Mirth, Waid observes the upper classes consumed by the appetite of a soulless materialism, industrialization, greed, wealth disparities. Oh, hey, this is grammar. We're in the grammar section. Materialism, colon. Okay, materialism. Oh, okay, yeah. That's comma, colon, comma. They both work. Based on genetic evidence, they've generally agreed that reindeer domestication began in the 11th century. However, where's grammar? Since for grammar, I'm not going to zoom in because it's actually. Let me try. Let me mess around with this. Since uncovering fragments of a 2,000 year old. Oh, this is researcher. This is dangling modifier. Okay. right? Okay. I don't know why. My brain's not like turning on right now. Okay. A conceptual artist and designer embraced by both the art world and fashion world, comma, a positive, Mary Ping, was chosen to correct. Okay. In the 1970s, he came up with the idea for Nerf football, which is a smaller phone version of the. Yeah, sure. Yeah, is a smaller version. Beatrice Potter is best known for the writing, but she dedicated herself to mycology, the study of fungi. Producing more than she observed in nature, comma, producing more than 350 paintings of the fungal species she observed in nature and submitting her. Okay, that's a parallel structure. ing. There's two participial phrases. We're moving. Percy Julian was a scientist and entrepreneur whose work helped to. You know what? I will zoom in. Because I do think it makes it clear where I'm looking, even though it's much more difficult for me. But sure. Was a scientist and entrepreneur. See, what's difficult about the digital SAT is there's no placeholder, so I need to see a sentence, right? So it's harder to stream this. Okay. Named in this, Julian. So this is also. Oh no, not Julian. Oh, what? We're talking about an achievement. I guess it has to be D. That one's a funny one. Named in 1999 as one of the greatest achievements, the alkaloid physostigmine was synthesized. I would rather say the synthesis of the alkaloid physostigmine. That's the reason why I've been waiting on this for a while. I've been just sort of the synthesis. Jesus, what took me so long? Oh my God. Yeah. I was looking for the synthesis and I didn't see it for like forever. This is actually making me really really doubt myself right now. Like something's going on with my brain where things aren't really working. Cuz all right. Can I get 54 out of 54 right now? I'm like not even sure. The first computerized spreadsheet improved financial record keeping. Not only by doing this, but also by automating that were dependent on these. Oh my God, this UI. Don't do that. Can you not do that? Okay. On these adjustments. Prior to the release, changing often required way more work. Okay, yeah. Wanted to determine whether they can understand and respond to questions. All right. She taught eye movements that they would use to respond to basic math problems while asleep. That's funny. Specifically, she tried. Then she attached them. Yeah. She taught them and then she attached stuff. Yeah. You know what? I can't zoom in. Whenever I zoom in, I start losing track of what's going on. Like it's really hard to see what's going on if I zoom in because of these blanks. Like I don't know what's gonna go into the blank. So it's not like the current SAT. Sue Brunning explains why the burial site was likely the tomb of a king. Suggests that the person buried with them was respected. Indeed, the massive effort would likely have only been. Second. First, second. Yeah. Two different reasons. Because the effort and the gold are different things. Exactly. Okay, second. Every chemical compound has a spectroscopic fingerprint, a pattern of reflected light unique to that compound. Upon analyzing the light reflected by the bright regions on the surface, she was able to determine that the regions contained large amounts of a thing. Thus, yeah, because of this, she was able to determine the regions. Because of this. You guys have to pay attention to the main clause. Yeah. All right. We're done with. So we had what? Two. Okay. Yeah. We had two. We had three logical transition questions. Now we're in the synthesis. Okay, for these, I do end up just basically using this. Emphasize the significance of the discovery, and then right here, prove critical. Oh my god, this UI is such garbage. I can't even zoom. All right. I'm looking at the right side, but this UI is so hard to navigate. Yeah, only A is significance. I don't even need to see. I don't even need to see the left side. Okay. Contrast the emissivity of reflective metal fibers with that of silicon carbide fibers. That's just a method. Just a generalization. Oh, come on, this UI, Jesus. Just let me zoom. Okay. Plan to use both is emphasizing commonality. Okay. There we go. Relevant information. Okay, we're trying to present the significance of this act to an audience unfamiliar. Significance of the act. So, slots. Well, this is talking about slots where we are clearly talking about something we don't know. Prior to the Hart-Celler Act, new immigration quotas are based on how many people from each country lived in the U.S. Okay, that could work. In place, this requires you to already know. Ooh, it could be D. It's probably D. Which favored immigrants. All right, let's talk about the significance of this act. In the 1960s, favored immigrants, abolished national origins. Yeah, they were reserved for these people. Okay. Yeah, that's the significance. Because B excludes the most significant information, which is that it was biased. Okay, let me go straight to the right side. Woman and the vote format. An advantage. That's not a advantage. Wow, this is so hard to. Yep. Let's talk about the advantage. Let's just double check. One click took them. Control the experience. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Control the experience is too broad, but this is actually the advantage itself. Yeah. Ooh, you kind of do need to look at the left side. You can't just skip straight to the right side on these synthesis questions. You need to look at the left side. Okay. So I want to get a 54 out of 54, unlike last time. So I actually do want to review all of these questions. I have 10 minutes left, so I might as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just read through them slowly and make sure that I didn't make any dumb mistakes, all of them. Here we go. Basically, I'm not gonna worry about process elimination. I'm gonna worry about my answer choice and be like, am I confident in this answer choice? They're handmade from the sweetgrass and palm, and then they have the palm and the sweetgrass, so that's easy. Dormant. Maybe dormant, present but no effect. Yeah, I'm confident in that. Confined to. Hardly confined to Spain. Around the world use this style. Correct. Impenetrable. She did not view it as impenetrable. She broke in and she became, yeah, a black woman, white male. We're good. She acquired, is carving, the work acquired greater precision. It took on greater precision. To distinctor, yeah. So that's the only word that works. Yep, I did have to do a little bit of process elimination there just to double check. For this one, the question is about the overall structure. I hear it's charged against me, but I reject it. I'm establishing the institution of dear love. That's a criticism than his grand ambition, sure. Why are they worrying about Pondo? Pondo is one of the largest, but they're worried that its growth is declining, and this is growth is declining. Okay. Just double checking BCD. Yeah. And then now we're looking here. Cats, they measured the level of surprise based on ear and head movements. It's a detailed question. So they measured how each cat moved its head. Sure, that's A. I'm confident in that. Vibration cooking is the main idea of the text, is an important contribution to food writing. Right. Her most influential project, it combined memoirs. It has shaped contemporary approaches to writing about the cuisine. That is A. That's the main idea. I'm going to move on. Which quotation? This took me a long time, but she has to take comfort in understanding the world around her. And I had to go through all of this. So let me just make sure I see comfort in the world around her and understanding the world around her. She drew her shawl closer. She leaned against the front. She looked at the stars. She loved to watch them, to think of their vastness and distance and their ordered march. It ordered her, to comfort her, to reflect upon the great operations of nature. And when she thought of the law that led behind them, which is the understanding, she felt personal security. I mean, that's pretty straightforward now. Okay, it just took me a long time to actually process the answer choices when I was seeing it. So several artworks found among the ruins depict this figure with a cupid. The figure because she's linked to cupids. But no, the cupids is just associated with fishing. Not only Venus. So the female figure and the cupid could just be fishing. Yeah. Okay. So and just it's not concluded. Yeah. It's undecided. The strongest opinions consider the opposite side. So if you discuss philosophers who conflict with you, you could have stronger opinions. Correct. I'm noticing that I automatically start doing process elimination for the reasoning questions, and I think that's a good instinct. Because these are a little trickier. These are a little bit more, in Korean, 까다로워. They're more nitpicky. Widely around the world. Read and produced widely. Appeal. Yeah. Yeah. She observes that the novel depicts the society as consumed by this materialism, an apt assessment. It's a pretty complex a positive. Okay, yeah. It's funny how a relatively hard sentence is the very first grammar question. Based on genetic evidence, archaeologists have agreed. However, since uncovering fragments in Siberia, researcher argue. Yeah. Dangling modifier. Conceptual artist and designer, embrace blah blah blah. Mary Payne was chosen. Correct. That's just another modifier up front. 5 minutes left. Professional American football player. He came with the idea for the Nerf football, which is a smaller. Yeah. Beatrice Potter. She dedicated herself to mycology, the study of fungi, producing more than and submitting research. Yep. Named in blah blah. This synthesis led to, yes, that's correct. With the easy means of updating data, but also updating all calculations that depend on these adjustments prior to the release, you would have to redo the entire sheet by hand. Neuroscientists want to determine this. First, taught volunteers to do this, and then next, she attached the electrodes. Yep. First, they suggest the gold artifacts. Second, there's this massive effort. Every chemical compound has a fingerprint, a light print, basically, and thus the light print helped her determine the chemical compound. Yeah, so that's thus. Ochoa's discovery proved critical to deciphering the genetic code. That's significance, right? Duh. And genetic variation, sure. Contrast the emissivity with a silicone. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. One has 0. Yeah. And I can just double check this over here. The significance to an audience unfamiliar with the history of U.S. immigration. Yeah, abolish national origins quota system. Yeah. This is the significance because of the favored immigrants. Yep, that's important. And then this is the advantage. The advantage is you have to click. Wait, had to first click? Oh, that's not an advantage. What the hell? Had to first click on an artifact? Oh, no, yeah, that's not an advantage. Featured a drawing of each containing suffrage artifacts. Wait, what's the advantage? Okay, let's go understand the advantage. Interactive online format. Interactive digital drawing. Focus on a room and select from the room an artifact. One click took them to stuff, to media. It allows them to control the experience. So, yeah, that's not an advantage by itself. I guess it's C. Yeah. Yo, I had to first click. I didn't fully read B when I chose it. Okay, well, that's 30 minutes just to double check everything. And I caught that one error at the very end. Pretty happy about that. Let's move on to the next module. Joaquin, thank you. Yeah. Oh, there was no break whatsoever. Oh, I guess there is no break on the test. Right. Interruptions in the supply chain have challenged the assertion that they can expect robust growth. The delays are unlikely to overturn her projection entirely, but will extend. Invalidate entirely, but it will extend. Within baleen whale species, some have an accessory. It's functionless. Given the prevalence known to make deeper dives, it isn't actually functionless. Maybe it's useful for... It isn't actually useless. Yo, latent? Come on, that's not a good word for that. Its role isn't latent? That's not a good word. But this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this... Okay, this is the opposite. Yo, that's not a good word. That's so easy to fix, College Board. Just change that word. That's one word that you can change. Anyway, uh, state taxes are other factors when considering interstate move. Even significant differences, state taxes have no effect, are irrelevant compared to other factors, are weaker than other factors, are overshadowed by other factors. Not irrelevant to other factors, irrelevant compared to, not irrelevant to. That would be a totally different meaning. Are we still in vocab? Yeah. To situate in the distant past, this rejection of situating it in the distant past have contemporary styles. Okay, rejects, that's repudiates. Yep. Recant is for like when you take it up and then you drop it. I don't know how to explain that right now. But like you kind of followed it, but then you can recant something that you no longer believe in. In 1929, the monthly published several articles based on historians were unable to confirm the authenticity, however, so confirm, validate. Okay. 1814 novel, Mansfield Park. Hang on, this must not be vocabulary. Main purpose. Okay, we're in the analysis section. I've seen this before. We just want to chill out. Wait, this is the speaker. The speaker is trying to have a play, and he's like, we want no audience, no publicity. We're just wanting to have some fun. We're just trying to have some fun. The purpose of this little speech is be like, hey, we're just trying to have some fun. You know, it's going to be a small number of people. Wait, small number of people? And we want to converse in the elegant language of some. Not be performed to elaborate skills to assert that the successfully promoted. Wait, small number of people. Where did you see that? Where's this? No publicity. Okay, I guess the small number of people is the fact that there's no audience. Yeah. Okay, I'm at. I probably should have restarted the time. Oh well. There it goes. My stopwatch is just gonna keep running. Anyway, John Redding goes to sea. He's a child. All right, and the question is function of the underlying sentence. All right, let's read. He's puzzling to the Florida. He's an imaginative kind of, head in the clouds kind of kid. The river flowed very close to him. There's these magnolias trees. There's hyacinths. Love to wander down, watch them sail away, to see the wild world. He wanted to follow them. It describes, it characterizes him. Okay, it characterizes him. Compared, nope. That's not a location. Yeah. He wants to go out. This is a similar question. They're walking, Lily, Bart, and companion. Okay, Lily is walking through a park. No intimacy, passion, scene, fitting, the landscape, and an enlargement of her present mood. Found something of herself in the calmness of her garden. On the nearer slopes, the sugar maples wavered. Lower down was the... So in context of this whole thing, it's an example of her being sensitive to the scene. Not a conflict. It does make an assertion that the next sentence expands on. Let me just double check. She found an enlargement of her present mood. Because I was looking at the top part, but looking at the bottom part, her present mood. On the nearest slopes, wait for the point lower down was made. No, that's not expanded upon. It's she found something of herself, and its calmness is breath, its long free reaches. And if you argue that the long free reaches are the claim, then there is the long free reaches is the claim. If the long free reaches is the claim, then this whole thing sounds like a long free reach. No, I don't know. Its assertion is kind of weird, but okay. And expanding is kind of weird, but it does illustrate the idea that was introduced in the previous sentence. Okay, okay. Sensitive to the scene. Fitting background of her own sensations. There we go. Her present mood is her own sensations. And this is her being sensitive. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Let me just... It's not the physical. Just kind of doing a quick double check here. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Let's just move on. Thousands of species live together, competing for the same resources. According to conventional wisdom, one species should emerge after outcompeting. So why do we don't have a good response? Have connected their diversity to their size because they're so tiny. They don't really have to hard for them to move around. Conventional wisdom doesn't apply here. Doesn't apply. So they would respond to conventional wisdom by saying it doesn't apply. By arguing that the misconception... Oh, what the heck? Maybe. Fails to recognize routine replenishment of nutrients, no. Their own findings, I don't think that's correct, but larger organisms is off topic. Focus the research on is increased water density is increased with water density. No, that's definitely wrong. So yeah, the misconception is that they're actually very far from each other. They're not actually competing at all. Okay. The number and origin of clamshell tools found at different levels below the surface in Neanderthal cave. Oh wait, with these I forget. Is it better to look at? No. I just need to. Okay, no. It's better to just understand this and then read till the end. Number and origin of clamshell tools found at different levels. Tools at different levels. Oh, this is archaeology. Okay, and this is deeper, so that's older. So we have some stuff from older, and then lots of stuff from newer, and that's clamshells from Neanderthals. And this weird thing in the middle where it's just vanished. Okay. Weird. Studying tools unearthed, they determined that prehistoric Neanderthal groups fashioned them from shells of clams that they harvested from the seafloor, okay, on the right side, while diving. Clam shells become thin and eroded as they wash up on the beach, while those on the seafood are smooth and sturdy. So they suspect that they prized the tools made from the seafloor shells. However, the team also concluded the tools were more challenging to obtain, noting that there's way more from the beach. Way more from the beach. So 18 is greater than 7 and 99 is greater than 33. So we're not looking at depth right now. At each depth, prefer to use the canister from the beach because not the durability. We're talking about at each depth, the difference in it suggests that shells are easier to collect from the beach than from at each depth. We're not trying to compare between the depths. Okay, I'm getting confident that I can get 54. I'm thorough enough, and my brain is turning on. Keltner and Haidt have argued. Oh wait, what are we looking for? We're looking for support. Okay, experiencing awe can make us more connected and become more altruistic. This has to have perceiving something grand or powerful. They found evidence for this where they asked people to look at these tall trees. The tall trees is talking about something grand or powerful. I have seen this one before. Or stare at an exterior of a nondescript building which is nearby, which is not grand or powerful. After 1 minute, they spill a box of pens. And so the altruism is you help them with a box of pens. So people who've been looking at the trees helped more pens. Yeah, that works. Although the number is kind of funny, but sure. The number of pens is actually a little weird there. No. Describing the trees is unrelated. Because we're not talking about the awe right now. We're talking about the altruism. Building, we're more likely to... Noticing is not the point. Okay, pick up more pens, yeah. More pens is actually like a funny evidence. It should be just, did they help at all? But sure. But I guess there are people who will literally, if you spill like 12 pens, like I guess there are some people who will help with like one. That's, I guess they're not very altruistic. That's a funny experiment though. Okay, we're looking for support, I assume. Weaken the claim by people we're weakening the traditional view. Okay, who favor the traditional view claim that voting in an election does not change an attitude. That voting doesn't change the attitude. I've seen this one before too, though. Anyway, voting does not change the attitude. Focusing on each U.S. presidential election from 76 to 96. They tested the claim by determining between subjects who just become old enough to vote and who were too young to vote. So the old enough groups, half of them voted, and the too young, none of them voted. They compared the attitude. So you want to see that the voting changes the voters' attitude. So if you want to weaken the traditional view, you want to have the voters somehow changing in their opinion. Subjects' attitudes 2 years after the election was predicted political orientation? No, this is traditional. Right? We need to weaken the traditional. We need to say that actually the voting itself affects it. Positive. No, this is not comparing between the groups. It's only comparing within themselves over time. Subjects who voted and given polarized attitude toward the willing candidates than this subjects who did not old enough. Okay, voted versus not voted. Voted versus not voted. Polarized, that's correct. Not then positive attitude. This is just comparing within themselves. This is, okay, we need to compare between the groups. Okay, this is supporting, so that must be at the end. No. Whew, why is it so rough? Okay, power conversion efficiency. Okay, highest performing ones were spray coating. Spray coating is better than spin coating as far as we can tell. The lowest performing spray coating was still better than the highest. Spray coating was better. Okay. So spray coating is better. Solar cells. One limitation has to do with their ETL. Spin coating. Inefficient. Spray coating. Thickness. Multiple thicknesses. Spray coating. Because it's efficient, even the lowest performing spray coating is better than the highest performing spin coating. The lowest performing ETL applied to spray coating was higher than the highest performing spin coating. Yeah. King Lear, the character devotion. He regrets testing their devotion. He regrets testing their devotion. I'm a man more sinned against. No. Now leave me to run things. Regrets. Well, give me leave to ponder on things would hurt me more. He regrets his decision, maybe. Says to himself, beat this folly out. Beat this folly out. I was foolish. Okay, that's not. This tempest will not give me leave. I'm being bothered. I'm being, hurt. So we need to talk about his folly. That's the regret. Whew. Okay, let's keep going. Thanks for continuing to watch, whoever you are, man. You guys, just double checking every once in a while. Mycorrhizal fungi. What's going on here? Effect of the fungi on 3 plant species, and when they had the mycorrhizal host, something was higher. The mass of the plants grown was higher. In soil treated to kill fungi, it was lower. So the mycorrhizal host leads to greater growth if they have mycorrhizal fungi. Many plants, increasing the mass. 2 that are mycorrhizal hosts and 1 that doesn't. It may even be harmed by mycorrhizal fungi. And was surprised to discover something. Hang on. What's the surprise here? What the shit? Wait, what's the surprise here? Isn't this exactly falling within prediction? The group several plants from each species and in soil containing the fungi, so they will obviously grow. Okay. And then the 7.5 is slightly greater than the 7, I guess. That's so minor that broccoli grown at a slightly higher average treat to kill fungi, because this is the opposite of potentially harm. I guess. I'm not gonna double check the other answer choices, but that is the only thing that's surprising, So I'll come back to that if I have time. Punching bags into art. That's an interesting piece of art. Leather fringe, jingles, cones, punching bag with woman's dance. He rejects the division of male and female. So he rejects it by decorating. Yeah, he rejects color. He draws from traditional to create his. Yeah, he does draw from traditional. Wait, what? What the heck? Is that the best description to his? This is like a detail question. It's in the wrong place. This is after the reasoning. Why is this after the reasoning? This question is like in the wrong place. Okay, well, sure, that's that detail question that just suddenly comes out of nowhere. That's annoying. Okay. I'm just zoning out for a second. We're completing the text. Okay, let's complete the text. So they investigate a mechanism that allows to accelerate flowering at higher temperatures. High temperatures, more flowers. They replace the protein in the plants with a similar protein. No acceleration. So ELF should probably produce more acceleration. A. thaliana with the altered plants showed no difference in flowering at 27, but at higher temperatures, the unmodified plants exhibited accelerated flowering. Wait, A. thaliana? Oh, Aetholiana is the subject, and ELF3 is the one. So the similar protein. Okay. Which suggests that if you remove the ELF3, which is the altered one, ELF is enabling to respond to increased temperatures by producing more flowers. So unique, not ELF3 production. No. Okay, by flowering. Okay. Whew. Yeah, because the alteration is by removing it. The 47 geothermal springs of the national park are sourced via a process known as recharge, in which rainwater percolates downward through the earth. In this case, the porous rocks of the hills around hot. The grammar. Yeah, for grammar, it's hard to do this. I have to just read it like this. Okay, I'm not going to zoom in. The 47 geothermal springs are sourced via a process known as recharge, in which grammar percolates. In this case, the porous rocks of the hills around the hot springs percolates downward through the earth to collect in a subterranean basin. I'm actually zoning out now. Okay. The reason I zoned out is because this hot springs, I was trying to figure this out. All right. Journalists have dubbed him the Godfather of rap. He resisted the Godfather nickname, however, comma, feeling that it didn't, that bluesologist. Okay. Over 20 years ago, in a landmark experiment in the psychology of choice, she set up a booth available for testing, varied. Some had 24, others had, okay, that's colon. Okay. Working from a discovery, recreated and reprogrammed scissors to forging a tool, not to forge a tool. They reprogrammed the scissors, comma, forging. But there's no comma. What? There's no comma, though. Seriously? To forge? They reprogrammed it to forge a tool? That's not good. Yo. I mean, you can use to forge that way. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, like I know that A is the answer they're going for, because for B they should use a comma, but that's not the right modality, dude. You don't want to use an infinitive for that because that makes it sound like that was their intention. It's a little ambiguous. They recreated and reprogrammed the genetic scissors of a species. All right, fine, whatever. All right, I mean, it is one way of using that infinitive. A study published by Rice University offers a new explanation for the origin of Earth's continents, geological structures called arcs. Hang on. Towering ridges that form Earth's continents. Geological structures called arcs form when it subducts under a less dense, melts, and then rises. This is the explanation, though. So you want to have the colon. It's an explanation. Wow, they're making you choose between the period, yeah, and the semicolon and the colon. That's a good question. A firefly uses specialized muscles, triggering a reaction whereby the oxygen combines in the abdomen. Specifically, wait, hang on. Cease. As a result, Wait, hang on. So when the stops drawing, wait, specifically it ceases? That's weird. I guess it's by contrast. Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only way to describe this process here. Because we're talking about drawing it in versus not drawing it in. Okay, so that's the only choice. Sun is relative. How hot it is relative to nearby stars. I'll just double check. Hotter than most, but not all within 10 parsecs. Okay, let's just read this. Study the difference in the surface temperature of the sun and nearby stars. All stars within 10 parsecs. 98 K cooler and 11 were hotter. 11 were hotter as a G star. Okay, this is how hot it is. It's hotter than most, but not all. And the only ones are I only have 5 minutes left. Yeah, all the other ones aren't really comparing directly. Yeah. It's not comparing both directions. Greatest libraries house. I'm gonna try just reading the left side first. Preserved with goal of preserving knowledge. Greece, India, Arabic. Translating to Arabic includes all these people. Chinese paper-making technology. Okay. How they preserved the knowledge? How did they do it? They used paper, Chinese paper, and they translated them into Arabic. How they did it? Yeah, that's how they did it. Yep. Oh, you know what? I think reading the left side does help, like knowing what it's talking about, because then you can just make a prediction, especially for the harder ones. Relevant information from the notes to present the study and the methodology. Okay. They expend up to 62% less energy in a line. Hasn't been understood, but they use computer simulations, and they found that they're pushed in a forward direction by the wake. Okay, so the methodology was computer simulations. Okay. And the study is seeking to understand how they save energy, use computer simulations to study the effect of the mother duck's wake. Yep, that's correct. Last question. Feeds mainly on fish, frigate bird. Unusual, it doesn't dive, it just uses to snatch prey from the surface. Also, it steals. So a similarity between the two ways that it acquires food. It's kind of lazy, I guess. Snatch prey by force. Okay. Oh, well, yeah, that's also a similarity, I guess. I was not able to predict that answer. Yeah. These are both just talking about one. This is just explaining. There's no similarity, so that's a similarity. All right, well, I only have 2 minutes left, and I didn't flag anything. I think for like I don't really have the time to go through all of this, so I'll just pray and see how it turns out. But I guess my tip for taking this test would be you probably should flag so that you can go back and double check exactly which ones. Like this one, I think I wanted to double check, right? Was it this one? Yeah, but like I should have flagged it, which it's not that hard. It's easy to flag over here. So let me double check this one right now. Slightly higher than the one killed in fungi because broccoli is the one that doesn't benefit from and may even be harmed by. Yeah. I mean, that is the only surprise, right? Corn grown in soil. No, that's not surprising. Marigolds grown in soil. Well, that's not surprising. Corn had the highest average mass. That's not even true. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. Is there anything else? I don't know, I guess I could just go through the second half of this. Ugh, 21. Ugh. Okay, well, I'm done. All right, let's go check my score. So I'm gonna skip the math basically. Go to review page, next, because I'm embarrassingly terrible at math. it's it's embarrassing. All right, let's see. Does the score come out over here? I forget. View my score. Oh, I have to like log in and stuff. All right, let me log in with some privacy, and then I will show my screen. All right, here we go. Loading, loading, loading. 800. 800. All right. Good. Good job, Saul. It's been a while. Okay, last time I did not get an 800, so very annoying. I saw that 1000 and I like freaked out for a second. That 1000 doesn't look good. But I got 44 out of 44. Perfect. And yeah, even though I'd seen some of the like some of the passages before, it's just that like because I hadn't like taught it or anything, like I didn't really have to like force myself to really think about those questions. I kind of forgot them all. So I know I've seen some of these questions before, and you might think that's maybe partly why I got the 54 out of 54, but it really didn't help that much. It might have helped me save a little bit of time because I kind of remembered the flow of some of the longer passages, but then I had to recover from the fact that I was talking the whole time, which slows me down significantly. So, I think in the balance, that was a pretty accurate representation of how I would have taken that test on my first take. A couple sort of niggling details that I think I was sort of managing in real time that I want to sort of like clean up right now is should I look at the question first? And I think basically yes. Basically, the SAT, the digital SAT is formatted into what I think is it's reasonably organized into 5 sections. Okay, it's not the way the SAT, the College Board, actually organizes them, but it's reasonably organized into 5 sections. I think you should become familiar with all the different question types, and then you should be able to do a quick glance, on the right side of the page, and then back to the left side of the page, and you should be able to know what question it is, what type of question it is. It should take you 1 second. So I think the value of going through like Khan Academy right now would be just to familiarize yourself with the different question types that are out there. So you want to do a quick glance to the right, glance to the left, and be like, I'm still in vocab. I'm going to be focusing on vocab, right? Oh, we're moving into the analysis questions, which have like the main detail questions, the main idea questions, the detail questions, the structure questions, the purpose questions, the function questions, right? So that's what I call the analysis section. We're in the analysis section, so I'm just going to read and for comprehension, right? And so you need to do that scan to the right side. You need to know what section you're in. You go back to the left side, and then now you're going to modulate your approach. And then The reasoning section, you really need to slow down and be ready to do process elimination for that one. So, for the reasoning questions, that's like which finding, which quotation, which data most supports or weakens this argument, or how do you logically conclude that? How do you logically conclude this paragraph, right? So that's like the reasoning section. You want to be able to be like, okay, for the reasoning one, these are the hard questions. I need to slow down and make sure I understand every single concept that comes out, because I need to make sure that they're dancing correctly. And then finally, not finally, there's two more sections after that. There's a grammar section, and then there's the synthesis section. Although I am considering combining the logical transition questions and then the rhetorical synthesis into one section and calling it the expression section, because that's what the College Board calls it. And I was thinking of just using their language for that. But yeah, the expression section is maybe a different name for that. But there are these 5 different sections, and your general approach should be when a new page opens up, you should quickly jump to the right side, and within 1 second, you should sort of process, oh, that's a question type. That's that question type. And then back to the left, and then you should read. And I was messing around with the rhetorical synthesis question, the one at the very end where you have to read through student notes, and then you have to choose a sentence that expresses the main point that the student is trying to convey. For that one, I was messing around with reading the right side first, and I've even floated the idea on previous streams that you probably don't even need to look at the left side. But now that I do this again and again and again, and with some pressure, and I do it when I'm trying to get 54 100%, right? I'm gonna walk back that advice. I think it's better to actually just read the left side and just know what it's talking about, and then look at the question stem and be like, that's my prediction, and then go back to the answer choices. Not back to answer. And then finally look at the answer choices is what I mean. Don't go back to it, because you probably shouldn't have read it in the first place. Make a prediction and then find the answer choice that makes sense, right? I think that approach is going to be better for the synthesis as well, especially because not all synthesis questions are super easy. Some of them are a little trickier. So it's good to just get a sense of, sometimes the synthesis question will say something, method, something, and then you look at A, and it looks like a method, but because you didn't look at the left side, you don't know. So you might choose it and get the wrong one. So I think it's better to look at the left side first. So yeah, that's I think some of the unresolved bits of. Needs better annotation. Oops. UI. I really wish I could just annotate it as if it were an image, as if it were a PDF. It's so annoying. Anyway, return to home. No, you're not. So let me just wrap it up. Time management was kind of closer to an issue to this time around, and I don't know why. I think it's mainly because it's been a long time since I did a stream, so I was just a little slower because I haven't done a practice test in a while. And I think, actually, and then a second reason is because I'm talking so much while I'm doing it. And this time I was very talky. I talked a lot while I was going through it. So I think that definitely slowed me down. Maybe if I don't talk as much, I should have a lot more free time to double check my answers. So no particular comment on the strategy regarding time management. I think today was kind of a fluke just because it's been such a long time. So nothing on that. Yeah, so if you were to ask me, is there any question type where I actually recommend just going straight to the answer choices? I think no. If you asked me 1 week ago, I would have said, yeah, for the rhetorical synthesis questions at the very, very end, you could just skip the passage. But now that I'm on this stream, my whole goal was to get 54 out of 54 because on my previous stream, I didn't get 54 out of 54. When I'm trying to be 100%, I'm going to read the left side first. I'm not going to read the right side first. It makes me overwhelmed when I'm only reading the right side first. So that's my recommendation for the strategy. Sandesh, I think I kind of did explain all the question types, but if you really want to know the different question types, yo, I have a database. Just go into the description. Like, this database is like literal gold. Like, it's just like, if I was a student, I would be so thankful for this database. I'd be so thankful for this database. Go into my database and just filter by question type and just see what I mean. Like, I can even, you know what? I will even briefly show you my database. Let me open it up on my iPad. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Give me a second. Let me. Okay. So yeah, I just pulled it up. Okay. Now there are a couple parts that are incomplete, but it's for the purposes of just learning the different question types. All you need to do. Okay. So these are the sections. These are the sections that I'm using, the 5 sections, okay? And then this is the College Board's official domain terminology, okay, which you don't really need to use at all. And then here's the types. And these types are, the language is College Board's language, but I made it a little bit more detailed, okay? Because the College Board would like combine main idea and detail into a single type, but I separated main idea and detail into 2 different types. And then the College Board would combine evidence quotation and evidence finding into what did they call it? They called it quantitative evidence versus verbal evidence or something like that. Verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning. I forget what their exact terminology was, but I decided it was more explicit to just separate the quotations from the findings, because one is about like verbal connection and one is about like proving things empirically, and they're very different types of skills. So where College Board kind of clumps them together, I actually separated them into different types, and that should be even better for you. And so you'll see that you can literally look at it right now. You could even download it. You could steal my database right now. Please don't go and make an app, because then I'll have to sue you. But you can download it right now. Okay, so go and look through this, and you'll be able to see a bunch of examples from Bluebook and from the linear practice, the linear PDFs, and from Khan Academy for the different questions from the different question types. Okay, I will make a video in the future about all of this, but right now it's all work in progress. So while I'm working on it, you can just take a sneak peek. All right, guys, that's it for me. And it looks like you have no other questions. I want to go and get some lunch. It's 1 p.m. It's kind of late for me for lunch. So guys, thanks for sticking around. If you're just sort of hovering there, feeling awkward and not knowing whether to say hi or hello or hey or sup, and you're just like stuck on the word choices there, you can practice. You can extend your time, and you can do that in the Discord server. I'll be hanging out. Just a quick heads up, this upcoming week, I'll be extremely busy. I will not be doing Bluebook practice test 4 for at least another week. I have a lot of preparation to do before my winter term classes, so just gonna be stupidly busy. I will probably be pretty inactive on YouTube as well, but starting around Christmas time and afterwards until maybe mid to end of January, I should be more active. So again, I'll be focusing on digital SAT, some college application stuff, and as the second semester starts rolling in, in January, I'll be taking in requests for reading reactions to stuff that you're assigned at school. So if you're reading, I don't know, 1984 or whatever, or some essay that your teacher is assigning you, you should share that with me. I will definitely read and react. All right. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna go. Peace out, guys. Bye.